All right, just kind of, I haven't done this in a while, but we have this Tedertainment segment just because when we started it, I have a love for TV. I'm not one of these people. I call them TV snobs, where they'll say, "Well, we don't even have a TV in our house. I don't know what the hell's going on with TV." We grew up with TV, and I see nothing wrong with it. I love it.
Yep.
It's a great entertainment. You can get caught up and watch too much of it. It's just like anything else. But
Right.
my love of TV and entertainment kind of got me in thinking that, you know what, all these good shows out there, I'm usually on board with those, so I should be a critic. I really should. So we are able to develop this, and we can each talk about our own spots. So
No, we've said it before. I mean, and it's not trying to pump the podcast up too much of this segment. You legitimately could be a paid critic because of how much you watch.
Right.
I watch a decent amount. You guys know I don't watch as much as you guys do with some of the bigger series. Jared, you watch quite a bit, but like you would have opinions because you've seen a lot of things. Sometimes that's all it takes because you've seen a lot. So if you watch a series and it's just not that good, that it's not just because you don't like it. It's like, no, I've watched everything HBO has to offer. That one's not very good.
Here's my two. I agree with
Well,
you.
I have one TV show I'll start with, and it's on Paramount Plus, and it falls into the category of murder mystery. Right?
Okay.
It's called Happy Face. I don't know if you've caught that. It stars Dennis Quaid as the Happy Face killer. It's a quick 8-episode run, one season. We binged it in 2 days, and I give it a solid 2.7 stars. It'll probably be back for a second season, but it's about a killer. Dennis Quaid's in prison, and the whole tie-in is his daughter, and she's in television production, and there's a whole side twist thing with her connecting with him, her helping solve some mysteries out there. So Happy Face with Dennis Quaid on Paramount Plus. That's my pick of the week.
Happy Face on Paramount Plus. All right. My question for you, going with this, why is it, and you're the elder statesman of the podcast. So
one way of putting
it. You've been around the block. Why are all the good shows? Why does everything? And we're guilty of it. We love these shows. I was going to talk about White Lotus. One of the biggest things with White Lotus is murder. That's always why are all the good shows? Why does it have to do with killing? Every good show, like think about it. Like rarely do you just watch a show where it's just about a nice story. A nice kid goes to school and gets a job and has a nice life. Everything on TV always comes back to some sort of murder.
We're evil people, man. It's the reality. I don't know. That's kind of sad to say, but I was just actually rewatching Django Unchained for like the 100th time in my life. And the ending when he's just literally lighting up like 50 people right in a row, like in this plantation house, like I'm like, I can't take my eyes off the screen. This is magical. This is awesome. This is badass. That's our life. Now I will say, I don't quite swing on the serial killer side like you guys do. So that's a whole nother iteration.
That's the fascinating side. It's fascinating.
Yeah. So I don't know how to explain that part, but I can explain the other part, which is just watching a guy, with revolvers mowing people down. I mean, it's hard to beat that level of entertainment. So
what do you think, Ted?
Well, I think, first of all, I thought you were going to lead into everything's become streaming, so you set me off a little bit there. But when I look to network TV, all right, which network TV, there's always going to be a spot for it, but it's not going to be what it used to be by any stretch of the imagination. Some of the most popular shows on network TV, Dateline, 48 Hours, 2020, every single episode is about some sort of killer, right?
CSI or all those like CSI shows or whatever.
Exactly. So it is this human fascination with what goes wrong. Is it Satan? Is it whatever it is? Yeah. What goes wrong with these people, and especially the serial killers? They're diabolical a lot of times, and they always seem to get caught. It's usually DNA or cell phone technology or something. But it's just a fascination because most people, it's not in their wheelhouse. So that's why you're fascinated with watching it, because you try to understand, how do these people think?
Yeah, maybe that's a part of it. That's a side of the human world that you're not, hopefully not a part of. So you watch it on TV to try and be like, man, what's wrong with these people? Because you talk about network sitcoms. Think about it in the 90s, Jared, you weren't around, but think about the popular shows, the Home Improvement, the Family Matters, Full House, like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Married with Children, all these like shows that were so popular back then. It was just standard home family life. No, there wasn't like murder, killing, serial killers in these shows, but it seems like TV shows have kind of gone a different way. Like what would be a show that's like Modern Family? That's kind of like that, or what was that one? This Is Us was a popular one for a while. That was just a standard like family show.
Right.
But you don't see those very much anymore.
There's not many killer sitcoms anymore on network TV. A couple that I watched that, just I'll throw a plug out because if I watch it, it's got to be good. Ghost. I like Ghost.
Okay.
I like what's the school one in Philadelphia?
Abbott Elementary.
Abbott Elementary is a very clever show.
I guess there's like Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is one that a lot of people watch. That's one.
Ted Lasso was excellent, right? I'm just talking network TV.
Can I come? You give great reviews of things. You know what the bummer is we need you watching the mainstream stuff. Like I saw Sinners a couple weeks ago. I'm waiting for the Sinners review to come for you. Big blockbuster movie. People are loving it. Got to see it in theaters.
He did go see Snow White. He did go see Snow White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think this segment could improve if I actually went out to the movies and do run movie reviews, huh?
I think what this is. I think what Jared is saying is we need to link up more, so this is you, Ted, because you're the guy that does this. You need to go dig in with NCG, get a deal with them so you get to go see all the first run movies. So then you can come to Tedertainment, do your review, and then we can promote it and stuff. So I think this is where Jared does see this.
It's not even you don't have to go see every movie, but I mean, we know the big ones when they come. Sinners was a big one. There's one every few months. We need those. First opening weekend, we need to start getting those.
The new Mission Impossible.
10, 15 minutes. Make it a bigger segment, and let's really promote it, man.
Okay. Well, we need to have a little bit further production meeting then. Just poke me, man. I got enough going on. Just remind me. I saw the previews for Sinners. It looks pretty good, so I'll check it out. But let me know when there's a first run you want me to go to. Yeah. I'll go do it. I'll do it. All right. There's one here I want to throw out there real quick because I did get a chance to watch some of it while I was down here. You're a big war buff, right, Jared?
World War II specifically, but yes.
There's an interesting one on Netflix now, put out by the people that put out Turning Point. It's on the Vietnam War. It's 5 episodes. I've watched the first 3. It's unreal. I mean, it is really, really well done the way they put it together from the beginning of the war when Kennedy was involved to the Tet Offensive. That's where I've kind of finished it right now. So I look forward to seeing how they ended up. But it was well done, and it's called Turning Point: The Vietnam War on Netflix. So if you're looking for something to just back and forth go to, that's it.
Is the Turning Point the Tet Offensive? I'm guessing
in the war.
Yeah.
Well, the name of the people that produce it's called Turning Point, but yes, ironically enough, it is.
Right. Yeah. I mean, from what I understand, tell me if I'm missing. Like I said, I'm not a big Vietnam guy, but big part of the Tet Offensive was basically they just wanted to show the people back home in the USA, like you guys are losing a lot of people out here. Like it was almost trying to win the battle at the home front as much as it was actually in Vietnam.
Well, don't they always say all is fair in love and war, right? So the war part, supposedly there was a truce between North Vietnam and South Vietnam that during Tet, which is their big Easter, Christmas, whatever holiday, they were going to have a ceasefire. Well, North Vietnam said, "The hell with that. We're going to say we're going to have a ceasefire." But they set up battalions throughout South Vietnam, including I believe is it Hanoi or Saigon. I can't remember which one's the capital, but the U.S. Embassy, where the U.S. Embassy was, and they attacked the U.S. Embassy. So they said all bets are off, and that's kind of right where the war turned and swung the other way. And Walter Cronkite, the big newsman in America, went there and saw the aftermath, and he just said, we're not going to win this war. It's at best going to be a stalemate. And then a famous quote was, if we've lost Walter Cronkite, we've lost the war, and it just turned from there.
Imagine having that power. We don't have anybody with that power nowadays in the media world. What's funny about Vietnam is you wonder why these guys were such tough fighters. We hear about their traps and their guerrilla warfare. We trained them. We trained them in World War II just to go back and try to conquer them a couple decades later. They're probably thinking to themselves, why are these efforts so tough, man? We can't take them out. Because literally like we're fighting ourselves. And they know the lay of the land like the back of their hand. Like you had no chance in that war.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, it was a worthless war. And salute to all the veterans, the Vietnam War veterans. They just did their part for the country, but our higher ups got them in a bad position, and it was wasted.
That's a war that, I mean, we see maybe at some point it'll happen. I mean, we're with that on Netflix, maybe it's starting to happen, but there's so many movies and documentaries and everything about both world wars.
Yeah.
So obviously like Civil War and some other ones. You don't see that many about the Vietnam War, and you almost wonder, is it because we botched it so badly? Like they don't really want to do documentaries on the Vietnam War because it was such a mess.
Maybe. I mean, there was a stretch in I'm going to say it was the 90s, maybe the late 80s, when there was a slew of Vietnam movies came out, like Platoon and Hamburger Hill, some of those movies. But yeah.
But those are more like, Hollywood movies. I'm talking like documentaries that talk about like what actually happened,
Right.
But,
Ken Burns did one, but this one is right there with him. So, yep. I agree with you on that.
Those are always worth checking out. Yeah, I'll be quick. So we started Handmaid's Tale, the final season, where we only watched the first episode, but that's one that needs to wrap up. We've been with it the whole way, so we're gonna watch the final season. We want to see how it wraps up, but it's kind of at the point in the show where it's like, all right, let's finish this one off. It's been good. It's been really good. I think this is season 6 or 7. So I mean, it's had a long run, and it is good. The acting, the writing. But it's one of those that needs to wrap up. So I'm very curious to see how they finish that show off this season. But we did finally finish that 3rd season of White Lotus, and the final episode was kind of wild. The shootout. I mean, it got crazy. Yep. I think honestly that show, in my opinion, why the 3rd season started slow and had some bad reviews initially is because there wasn't like those famous faces that the first 2 seasons had that like grabbed you right away. Like season 2, with the dude, the Italian family. I know you guys know him.
Imperioli.
Yep, him. Obviously, Aubrey Plaza, Jennifer Coolidge. She carried over from season 1. So right away, season 2, you were like, oh, geez, I'm all in. Season 3 didn't really have that. I mean, if you were like into TV shows and movies, you recognize some of the faces, but you didn't really know who these people were. So it kind of took a bit to get going. And then it did pick up, and a couple of the storylines were kind of just like, all right. Yeah. The final episode was good though, but I can see why people put season 3 as probably the 3rd best of that series, because I would agree, but it was still good. I think I saw season 4 is going to be in France, so I'll be curious when that comes out. But that's just such a good show. When that comes out, we'll be right there to watch it.
Yeah, it to me, like, I think it's a good point. I mean, Walton Goggins is probably the biggest. But outside of that, there wasn't, a lot of guys like, oh, that guy. It's the bad guy from Harry Potter. It's the villain in The Patriot. The
Uncle
most
Rico is
evil villain in maybe any movie is him in The Patriot. But I think it's a season where you're going to look back on that cast in like 5 years, like Patrick Schwarzenegger. I think he's going to be one of the next big stars, like where you look back and like, wow, that was like a stacked cast. But like you said, at first it's a lot of new faces. The one thing I did actually love from season 3, now that we've all seen it, I actually loved how the girlfriend group wrapped up. The whole time you're thinking there's going to be this mega blow up, and there was something kind of nice about how it went the other way. I thought that was kind of creative. And then I think the problem with the family with the Schwarzenegger and I'm trying to remember what the name of the family was. That was probably the number one people that you wanted to watch from that season. Is they just sat in that like, oh, he's gonna do something bad for what felt like 4 straight episodes where nothing really progressed. I think that's what people complained about. So, but that's what that show is. That's what Mike White calls it, edging you, is what he says. So that's what that was. But I think we all were like, maybe, man, we could have just added one little more wrinkle to this storyline of that family. But yeah, like you said, it was still amazing TV. I'm missing not having it on my Sunday night TV.
Yep.
You got anything to add, Jared? Any other show?
No, you guys covered it, I think. I saw Sinners. I'll just be real quick on that movie. It ruled. My one complaint was Remick, who is the villain, the vampire villain. He's all time, like, but you only get him for maybe 5 minutes. Like, I think he only has maybe 5 or 10 minutes of screen time. He's a great, like, it'll leave you talking in like a Southern accent for a week after you see it. The people talk about the music in it. I saved a couple of the original songs. It's awesome. It's vampires finally done right, in my opinion, where you go, wow, these guys are badass. Michael B. Jordan, and he plays twin brothers, Smoke and Stack. They're like Mario and Luigi. One wears all blue, one wears all red. That's pretty much how you tell them apart. He's great. He's badass in it. It was just a good flick. It's a good movie flick to go watch and enjoy at the theaters. It's awesome. But my one critique, I would have liked a few more minutes of Remick is his name. He's dynamic. I've also noticed, even when I was watching Django Unchained, like Leonardo DiCaprio, Calvin Candy in that movie, it's like I tend to lean more toward the villains. I like the villains in most of these things. The Patriot, when that guy's on the screen, you can't take your eyes off him. When Remick's on the screen, you're like, wow, this guy's awesome. Maybe that says a lot about my demented personality, but like I love the villains. The villains, like even enough Joker in The Dark Knight, Bane in Dark Knight Rises. Like those are the coolest guys in the movies, man. Maybe that makes me a weirdo. We were talking about the serial killer thing. You guys like the serial killers? I like the comic book, like made up villains, maybe.
Right.
That's what people say about Joaquin Phoenix and Gladiator. When he's on the screen, you can't not watch him.
Yeah,
there's a lot to be said about that. And by the way, it goes full circle. I didn't get a chance to see Sinners, but we get a review here on 3 Point Podcast by the young fella. We got it covered. We got to cover each other.
When you go to Sinners, like a lot of people know this on Twitter, make sure you stay for there's like a end of credit scene, which if you think about Marvel, it's usually like a stupid joke. They're like, why did I even wait for this? This is actually important to the plot. So if you do go see it in theaters or if you see it at home, make sure you wait for that, 2 minutes afterward to watch that final scene. Kind of ties it all together.
Just quick comment. I don't know about you guys, but we typically always stay right till the very end because they do slip these things in the credits. Right, so why leave early, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sinners, I mean, real quick, Sinners has like a kind of some deeper meaning type stuff, right? Like there's some like society type of connections and stuff like that, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know like how to talk on it, I guess, without sounding like an idiot, but I mean, it's set in the 1930s in the Deep South. So what's a nice little touch is I appreciate this little detail. So the Michael B. Jordan, the twin brothers, they go and work for Al Capone in Chicago. And then they come back with money. They buy this, barn that they turn into like this big party for the night. And I mean, you can just expect what happens. Well, you give, all this money in cash to a white guy in the South. Do you think he's just going to let you keep that place? Like, probably not. So and that's like, there's something I don't understand. Like basically like the vampires are Irish, which apparently there's something to that. Like Irish people were suppressed as well, at this time.
Yeah,
obviously
they
not
were.
to the extent that, African Americans were, but like that's why like what's kind of nice about the villain Remick is you kind of see his point of view, like with this whole movie. I don't want to spoil anything, but like they go like basically the big thing in the movie is vampires have to be invited in. So they're trying to get invited into this party just so they can kill all these people inside of it. And they're like, who are you guys? Like, are you guys a part of the clan? He goes, nah, we're all about equality. We're all about equality. We're all about equality. The way he said it is maybe my favorite line of all movie. But yeah, there is some deeper meanings. Yes, I'm not exactly a philosophizer to spell it all out for you, but yeah, it's definitely there's more to it than just a popcorn flick, if that makes sense.
Nice. Well, now that we got the review, I don't feel as guilty. I'll wait till it comes out in streaming, but I'll definitely check it out.
Yep. Well, I'll make sure to keep you posted on movies. Weapons. There's a trailer for this Zach Krieger's movie. It's a creepy one, man. If you haven't seen this trailer, it's a wild one. All the kids sneak out at the same time of this one classroom at 2:17. These shots of them like on Ring cameras running through yards. It looks like the creepiest thing I've ever seen. So that's one you got to see in theaters.
I'll be catching the reviews because I am mid-month. Harson's Revenge comes to NCG in Owasso, so I am planning on checking that out. So good stuff, boys. Hey, before I wrap this up, I just want to give you a quick update on my windshield time, okay? Since this is part of Tedertainment. On the drive down, okay? Don't tell my wife, but I had Netflix on my phone, okay?
Oh,
And I caught Adam Sandler, his comedy special, Love You. Shane Gillis, his comedy special, Beautiful Dogs. I don't know if you know who Ali Wong is, but she's got a special out called Simple Lady. She's hilarious. And then Bill Burr, I saw his with
yeah.
Paper Tiger. So I had 4 great comedy specials coming down, checking it out on Netflix. Then I switched it over to some podcasts, and which, by the way, we got to send a shout out to the people that regularly follow us 3 knuckleheads, right? So there are so many podcasts out there to even think that people tune in to listen to us. God bless you all. I mean, we love you. It's amazing. We want to definitely say a big thank you to our listeners. But segueing it from that, so I listened to a bunch of different podcasts on the way down. This one falls right into my wheelhouse. You know how I like, Jared didn't even know who he was, Ted Danson. Ted Danson of Cheers fame, and he's been in many things. He hosts a podcast with Woody Harrelson, produced by Conan O'Brien. It's called Where Everybody Knows Your Name. And he talks with some of the former cast. They talk with some of the former cast members of Cheers, some other Hollywood types. I give that one 3 thumbs up. Where Everybody Knows Your Name. People from my generation like it more than the younger generation. But Matt, you kind of fall in the middle there.
Yeah.
I think you would enjoy it too. This one is a hot one, which has got 3 guys that are hilarious. That also gets good guests. It's called Smartless with Jason Bateman and Will Arnett and Sean Hayes. It's hilarious. Bateman's he's funny as hell, and Will Arnett is. Another one, I'll give it 3 thumbs up, man. Good podcast to tune into. You know how I already like A Fly on the Wall with Dana Carvey and David Spade. So I listened to some of their episodes. And then
where do you find some of these, man?
I gotta tell you, like I said, I had windshield time. And then when I decided, I'll try something a little different, got to listen to a couple different episodes of the Howard Stern show. So
nice.
So now I got to get back to Spotify so I can listen to the Baseball 100. I'm not sure how many I can get in 14, 15 hours, but I'm going to give it a go.
Yep. Yeah, that's plenty of time. That's plenty of time to knock out some podcasts and stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah, amen. All right. You guys got anything else before we recite?
No, I mean, it sounds like brain rot, man. Half of that, but I can appreciate it. I mean, you listen to David Spade, Howard Stern. Wow.
I like a little lighthearted stuff. When you told me about that one podcast, I just couldn't even take it. It was so boring. So
which one?
To each our own. It was a war one. It was one about World War II. It just droned on and on.
It's good for the soul.
There's some that you got to be in the right mindset for some stuff like that. Like if you're windshield time, you're driving to Florida. Maybe that's not the place for that. You want to laugh. I want to stay
awake.
Right, stay awake. So yeah.